Hey, welcome to Ice Age TV, part 2 messaging day. Hey, what are we doing today? Got the Bronco hat on. Boy, it's cold out here. I had to kind of change up my gear. Burr! Cold. So that cold, dry air is here finally. Some really humid up here and a lot of moisture, but all right, what are we doing today? Happening now on the message conversation? It's up. It's the Braptor day. I'm gonna drive this. I've been driving the race truck. That truck now has 2,000 miles on it basically. So park that for a few days or a day, and let's get into the Braptor. You know, it's pretty crazy. I bought this thing, and what is this thing? I don't think it even has the same amount of miles. Look at this here. So this doesn't even have the same miles as the race truck. Think about that. That's hard for me to even believe. To Tennessee. So it's hard for me to believe that this vehicle here, I got this before I got the race truck, and it has right now, this has about 100, it comes close to 200 miles less than that does. Wow. What's that all about, right? I mean, now you know the favorite vehicle, right? I mean, come on. That race truck is a blast. Just get the seatbelts on. Is it a challenge or what? Who gets in their car and just like, Jesus Christ, man, just getting the car set up for all your fun time? Yeah, so we're gonna drive the Braptor. That's what we're gonna do. Live on the road, whole our day, 200-mile day. Anybody's following my channel. If anybody thinks that I'm making stories up when I say I live behind the wheel of a vehicle, I mean, sincerely, yeah. What do you see me do? I mean, so many. If you look at all my videos, so many of my videos are all behind the wheel of a car as I drive down the road. That's the main, that's just the main, presence of what I'm doing. I'm not sitting in office all day. I'm out taking care of business. And, I mean, since 1985, it's even hard for me to believe that since 1985, I've been living behind the wheel of a vehicle. And think, that is close to 40 years. I mean, it's over 37 years right now. Wow. And there's people watching my YouTube channel aren't even that age. But maybe they're like, 30 years old, 20 years old. Wow, get to be the old man. I can remember I was a young man in life, and yeah, look at the guy looking at me right now and be like, yeah, that's an older guy there. That's an old man. Oh, anyway, so yeah, it's the Braptor time. The settings. So this vehicle here, you can go to the goat mode down here. It's right here. And I can't remember. Do I go left, right? What do I do? There's normal. I mean, so I have so many different vehicles. There's off. So I'm going the wrong way. I'm going the wrong way. There's tow haul. There's sport. So I don't want the four-wheel drive though. Okay, I went back to two-wheel drive. What's really weird is in this Braptor, my vehicle, it goes to two-wheel drive in the sport mode down here. But when I had my Tremor truck, I had a Ford F-150 Tremor truck, and that truck there, it would always go to four-wheel drive in the sport mode. And I had to manually take it back out on the out for my two-wheel drive in sport mode. I never understood why when the Tremor truck went to sport mode, why it went automatically to four-wheel drive. I was always like, what? I mean, I understand if it's off-road, but sports to me more of the on-road. I doubt I'll make this late. Wait here. So there it is. Yep. Nope. I'll sit here and you listen to my blinker for the next 5 minutes. Oh, now, good Lord, so what's going on here? You have to dress warm in the winter months up here. It's such a drag. Everybody lives up north. There's the blinker. I'm going to turn it off. It just drives you nutty. So everybody lives up north here. They know. I mean, good Lord, just to get dressed, to be warm without getting cold. And what you learn, too, once you get cold, you stay cold. Then you're just freezing all day long. And what happens with that is, I mean, you literally get sick. You will get a cold, you get sick. So right one thought here. Back to the usual routine. Man, I live up in this Maryland area so much. I mean, I'm right, so weird, my life. You just kind of, things play out your life. You kind of even, I think a lot of us kind of already know. I mean, I sometimes feel like I've already been here and gone. I mean, it's just weird for me. I mean, so weird in how I drove up this road that I'm on I'm not embellishing here, over 40 years ago when I first got going to my career, and I said to myself, up in this area, and where I was living at that time, I was like basically 40 miles area where I used to live. And so when I first got my career going, I love to live up in this country type of atmosphere area, and it's just incredible on that piece of property. I mean, I literally found that piece of property by opening the yellow pages of the phone book, and I made a phone call to a builder. I just randomly just started, you know what, I'd like to find a piece of property, and that's what I'll do, So I went ahead and I just decided. The first phone call I made was a man named Jim Athey Building. And so I had no idea who this person is. So I called this guy, and he answers the phone. And back then, think about this. When you call somebody, it's a landline. What's the odds of somebody being in the house at the time that the phone rings and they answer the phone? And sure enough, an older gentleman answered the phone, and I told him I was kind of looking for a piece of property or something, even though for me, I'm like, yeah, right, how am I going to pull this off? So the gentleman goes, yes, I have a new development up here in Luckett's. If anybody's watching my channel, if anybody wants to track me down, you'll figure out where I am. What I have to do is look at all my damn video screenshots of when I'm driving down the road. So, but whatever. So the gentleman says, yeah, I have property up here. And I'm like, okay, that's great. That's up in that area that I thought I liked. So we met the gentleman. It was my first wife, actually. So I've been married twice. First time, 5-year marriage. Second time, it's been like 27 years now. Wow. Yeah, wow. So anyways, so we met the gentleman in that development there that you see my house around. There was 3 existing homes. One home that he built was already occupied, and then the other 2 homes were vacant. And so for me, he had a really cool ranch house that I really liked. I like the one-level living. I just am a one-level living guy. I cannot stand doing the stairs thing. So, beautiful ranch house right up the street from me, but not like a 3-acre parcel. And of course, the old farmhouse that you're looking at, that you see me at, that was for sale. That's at 10 acres, 9.8 acres of land, 10 acres. But a decent amount of money that he wanted for the home. And I know, just from looking at the home, that would cost a lot of money to maintain. And I just thought to myself, yeah, that's a nice, cool property, but boy, oh boy, I'm not going to be able to afford that. I don't know how to be able to pull that off. So anyway, so the first wife and I, we looked at different houses, and I kind of really wanted that ranch-style home. And so, I guess a day or so went by after the builder showed us the homes in the farmhouse, and we went through the farmhouse. And so I called him and I said, hey, I really like that ranch house, and blah blah blah. And he's like, great. I said, but here's my challenge. I got a brand new townhouse, not brand new, but a townhouse that I bought in '89. This is now '91, and I need to sell that in order to be able to buy your house. He's like, well, then you're gonna have to sell that, because that home is, owned by the bank, versus that farmhouse. I own that. And something for you to think about with your wife, because I know your wife really liked that farmhouse home, is I could probably take a trade on your townhouse towards that farmhouse. And I was like, what? Really? He's like, yeah, I could take a trade towards, what do you owe on the townhouse, and what did you pay for it? It was very cool. So we made a deal, and for me, here's the thing. I'm first like, wow. So I had to kind of think about that. So now I told him, after we negotiated some price for the townhouse and the farmhouse, I kind of thought about it and everything, and I literally was so nervous about that decision. I called him one evening, and I said, you know what, I don't know if I can commit to that deal. And here's the other part of the deal, which was so nice of him, was he said he'd hold the mortgage for 3 years, meaning he outright owned the property. But what he said is, okay, I'm going to take your townhouse, I'm going to give you money, credit. He gave me roughly like $25,000 credit out of my townhouse value to put towards that house as a deposit, down payment on that house. And then he gave me like 3 years to see if I could qualify for a mortgage, because for my income at that time, I would not qualify for that mortgage on home. So he said, I'll carry the note. I'll just make a note and you pay me the difference. He's like, you continue to pay your townhouse mortgage until I sell it, and you pay me the difference on what the differences of the two properties are, which was a great deal. So I thought about that, and I got really nervous, and I called him and I said, I don't know if I can do this. I just don't know. I just was really scared. And so I told him I'm not going to do it. Well, after I did that and I slept through the night, the next morning I woke up, I'm like, am I crazy? I have to make this work. I have to make it work. So I called him back first thing that morning, and I said, Jim, I rethought this. I slept on it. You know what? I think I can make this work. And he's like, wow. Last night you told me you didn't think you'd make it work. I'm like, no, I'm going to make it work. He's like, you feel you're going to make it work? I'm like, I'll make it work. He's like, all right, then we'll do the deal. Wow. I mean, what's the odds of that? That's how I got that property. I didn't make the income to qualify for those properties. Listen to the Braptor. So, and that was something I was going to talk about this morning. My message was, the fear factor, that today more than ever, what is the message? Is the message more than ever the fear factor? If you watch a lot of these YouTube channels that I talk about, of other YouTubers, it's about the fear, and I think to myself, the Think and Grow Rich 12 Steps to Success, it's the number 1 is positive mental attitude, number 2 is sound physical health, 3 is harmony in relationships, 4 is freedom of fear. The 4th one is freedom of fear. That's the most strongest, things that drive us in life is fear. So do you have freedom of fear? So anyways, that's how I kind of finagled that home back in 1991. I moved into that home in 1991. Yes. I just thought I'd kind of share that information with you for whatever reason. I just get to talking and just like to talk. Once again, my thought would be over here next to me in the seat, the imaginary friend, right? Have I totally lost it? Imaginary friends, right? I've got bots. Yeah, really, I have bot. Apparently you could go out and get fake subscribers. Apparently, there's people that specialize in trying to help people grow their YouTube channel, where they literally create fake subscribers and fake views. Yeah, I'm not that desperate. Some people, desperation, right? What's the message, right? Yeah, that's what it's all about, the message. And that's the thing. Some guys' YouTube channels, the message just radiates to people where they're huge. People love it. And then other people have, YouTube channels where the message gets a little foggy. It's a little unclear. It's like, hey, I thought this was a internal combustion engine HTV YouTube channel. All I do is see this guy talk a lot. Yeah, well, for the record, how many people have YouTube channels? There's so much talking before you actually even see the real deal. It even goes on big TV and everything else. It takes forever. Oh, another day on the road. My phone. Wow, I'm gonna have to cut out some videos. My phone's eating up a lot of video. Wonder what that's all about, right? Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. I was driving with the trailer. We're going to have to reset this. So let's reset the fuel mileage, and let's see what happens here. Did I reset it? I thought I did. Let's do it again. All right, so now let's get this thing back to the Braptor, right? The Braptor conversations. And wow, I'm gonna have to cut out a bunch of videos. I'm gonna have to delete videos. This thing's gonna turn red on me here any second. I'll run out of bandwidth or video width to talk to you, right? I'd be like, wow, that'd be fantastic. Talk about the Braptor. Talk about the Raptor. Yeah, this thing is just so comfortable. I mean, there's no doubt. The Raptor, I've had some people reach out. Sincerely, should I should I get the Raptor or should I get the Wild Track? And I'll tell you, the Raptor for sure, by all means, budget-wise, if you can do it, yeah, you got to get it. Even though, you know, so many months ago, I would have said, whatever. But sincerely, the Raptor really is a really cool package. It's really, really comfortable, and it's unique to its own because of the big fender flares it has on it and the big tires. So yeah, so maybe watch my YouTube channel. If you're on a Raptor order or wait for a Raptor Bronco, by all means get it. Now here's something interesting. The Raptor R Ford truck, they're saying it's faster than the Ram TRX. They're saying that if you do the auto hold on the brake, you have an auto hold where you can come up to a stop and take your foot off the brake, and that way you're not sitting there forever with your foot on the brake. The vehicle holds itself. They're saying a trick they've learned in how to launch that Braptor R to kind of outsmart the technology is you put it in the auto hold and then you just nail it, and you'll get the best 0 to 60 and 0 to 100 or 0 to quarter mile times, versus if you have your foot on the brake and then you nail it, or hold the brake then nail it, the vehicle, because the torque control, Ford claims they're trying not to burn up the transmission and the rear end of the vehicle, so they try to maintain the traction control by borderline detuning, the vehicle, and making it so that you this is so challenging. You people that just putt down the road, just not in a hurry, right? But everybody else is in a hurry, so you got to start rocking and rolling, and that's what we're gonna do. But anyways, so apparently is, and it's minuscule. I mean, it's beyond minuscule. It's a tenth of a second faster, maybe. I mean, it's incredible on how we're so fixated on these 0 to 60 times. But, and you're talking, the one truck does 3.2 or 3.3 seconds, and this other vehicle does it, 3.4 seconds. I mean, it's a tenth of a second. You got a minivan. Have you ever noticed the minivan? Hey, minivan ladies, what is it about you guys that like to go 100 miles an hour? This is going to be a lady in a minivan. She probably has kid issues, but she's going to get this car revved up, and she'll have to be doing about 90 to 100 miles an hour because she just rode my butt, and so I'm going to ride her butt now because she rode my butt. She just tailgated me. Now she's slowed down, which makes no sense. Remember I was talking about yesterday and how people get caught up in your speed, then they just drive your speed, but once you separate, they don't. They end up going very slow. Oh, the challenges of the roads. That's what you have to deal with without getting yourself in trouble. Anyways, but the goal is, I guess, is to beat the Ram TRX. I mean, that's the goal. It's what every manufacturer has a goal. If they can say they're just 1/10 of a second faster, then, they've won the deal, right? I mean, but at the end of the day, really? But here's the downside to the Raptor R. It's too expensive. I mean, think about this. The Raptor R is a $109,000 vehicle. It's a $109,000 vehicle without any options. A Ram TRX is like $80,000. So even for me being a Ford guy, oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know what's going on or not going on. So the Raptor R, I don't know if you caught that or not. My video cut off on me. So the Raptor R is $109,000. The Ram TRX is $81,000. And that's like the base model. Well, the base on a Raptor R is $109,000. I mean, so if you think about it, there's like a $30,000 difference in price. Now, if you get a fully loaded TRX, you're probably like $95,000, but you're still like a $14,000 difference. So for me, the Raptor R, I mean, sure, I'd like to have a Raptor R, but at the same time, for that type of money, oh my gosh, that's crazy. And even crazier is the dealer's going to put they'll put 20 to 25. There's no doubt in my mind that you're going to see $150,000 Raptor R's for sale. Isn't that just beyond believable? That's where we are today. The vehicles. I mean, this thing here, this thing's so cool. It just rocks. When we get into this thing, it's, bye-bye. I'm going to beat my truck. I can't see how it would because my truck weighs less. I would say my truck weighs less than this, not by a lot, but it has smaller tires and it has a 400 horsepower V8 motor. So that'd be interesting to see. That would be pretty cool. I would think the truck would take this. Because this is a lot of, vehicle, 37s. And that's our thing to talk about the Ford Braptor R is if it didn't have 37-inch tires on it, then it'd even be that much faster than a Ram TRX. Which I can definitely believe that. Because Ram TRX is a smaller tire package. And they're both of the same realm of horsepower, but once again, just speaking out loud about the pricing for the fun factor, the fun you'll get out of a Ram TRX. And a while back, I wasn't the biggest fan of Ram TRX, but as time progresses and to see what Ford's doing, I'm just thinking, wow. I mean, come on. If you found a nice used Ram TRX, let's just say for $80,000 versus you go try to buy a new Raptor R, I mean, you're talking $30,000 difference. That's huge. There's the police here. Always hang out right here at the bridge. Hey, it's just pretty incredible up in this area. It's the 10-mile. People in this area do 10 miles an hour over the posted speed limit. That's the average. And the police, they don't really go after you because they know the 15 and 20 mile an hour plus is, out there as well. So in this area, this DC or decent highways, they're not usually going after a guy that's 10 over because they just know that the 20 plus mile an hour guys out there in Virginia, 20 miles an hour over any speed limit is automatic reckless driving. So if you drive around the Beltway in DC and you're doing 80 miles an hour, it's a reckless driving ticket because it's 55 mile an hour speed and it's 20 plus 55, 75. So if you're doing 80, and that's what they want. These police officers like to get the big ticket number. They like to get the big number guys because that's brutal. Ask me how I know. Gotta get my vehicle kind of on, and everybody's just this morning. It's definitely a very fast-paced. Some days it's one thing, another day here's a Bronco. Here comes these guys all going to Kuhn's Baltimore Ford. Look at that, a bunch of Broncos. It's that guy going and delivering these to each separate vehicle. I mean, I don't know. Right now, this morning, it's a racetrack. It's a racetrack. There's people cutting in and out of cars. Here comes a guy. So this guy is going to basically be doing 90 miles an hour once he kind of gets his tone right there. It's right there. That person there is right now basically probably about 83. And he's going to try to get up around this slow poke up here. Everybody's packed up because people want to go 80 miles an hour, 85 miles an hour in this lane. And the lead guy thinks that 70 is perfectly acceptable. And that's what creates all the road rage. You have to move over. I talk it all the time. If you're on the left-hand lane, you have to move over. You cannot, doesn't matter if you're going 100 miles an hour. If a guy comes up on you, I've been to driving school. I got into a major argument with the driving school instructor about how if you're doing 100 miles an hour in the left-hand lane, a guy comes up to you, you have to move over even though you're breaking the law. Yep, you have to move over. You're kidding me. You have to move over. I argued with him. He's like, we're not going to talk about this anymore. He's like, you have to move over for any vehicle that comes up on your behind and wants to go faster. You have to move over. It doesn't matter if they're breaking the law or not. You have to move over. That's the law. You know how many people would argue with you about that? Yeah. So the whole point is, I witness this all the time. In lane, and her attitude is, I'm driving the speed limit, or I'm going a little over, so too bad. I'm not moving over. No. The law is the left-hand lane is a passing lane. It's not a driving lane. Technically, it's a passing lane. Hello. In Germany, are you kidding me? If you did this stuff in Germany, you're thrown in jail. Because you have people doing, that's kind of all changed over there, but years ago, people are doing, 150 mile an hour plus speeds, left-hand lane. Guy that's going 70 miles an hour, can you imagine how that all plays out? Yeah, you have to stay out of the left-hand lane. Left-hand lane is for the faster drivers, period. That's your lesson of the day. Did you get that? The message. What's that message? That message is suck it up, buttercup, get the hell out of the way. Right. Yeah, it's just weird thing for me. It's like I just get caught up in this energy of I'm in a certain area of the States over and over and over again. It's just weird how life is. It's all about the energy thing, man. Same thing, Thacker Caskets. Years ago, that there was somebody that worked there was using caskets to transport cocaine. No lie. Now, to me, I have no idea if the owner was involved in that or not, but the story is that Thacker Caskets company, somebody was embezzling drugs through the caskets. My guess would be probably some employee, but I have no idea. I never really followed through on, how that's all playing out. There's the construction up the road. So here we are. Here's the pack. There's the guy there that created the pack because that person didn't want to move. And it's an older gentleman. I mean, and the thing is, do I think they're intending that? They're not. They just don't know. And that's what you have to do. You drive a car every day of your life, like me. You just really have to tame it down and just say, I don't think that person intentionally is trying to make people mad. They just don't know. And it's just, and they're just trying to get by maybe something, or who knows. You just have to really, that's the challenge behind the wheel of a car. The compassion for others, right? What happened to the messaging talk, right? What happened to the message talk? What happened to that? Yeah, the message. Well, another thing about the message this morning, I was thinking to myself, look at Elon Musk. I talk about this guy every day of my life. What is going on with Twitter? Why is even the White House saying that Twitter's a bad platform now? I didn't hear this before Elon Musk owned it. I mean, what is the message? Is anybody really paying attention to all this stuff on the social platforms? How I talk about it all the time, how they're ruining this country and the younger generation, even the older generation. But for Elon Musk, his whole presentation, he bought Twitter to open back up free speech. But then yet the left and the White House are saying that that's not good. It's going to be all hate speech. You got to talk out of your left side of your mouth. If you're going to talk out of your right side of your mouth, let's reverse the video, I think. If you talk on the left side of your mouth, you're always telling the facts and truth. Talk on the right side of your mouth, you're lying all day long and you're a radical. Is that kind of the message? I mean, come on. I mean, that seems to be the message. There's the guy with the exhaust open his Chevy and getting down the road in his work truck. Yeah, so the message, right? So what's that all about? I mean, sincerely, what is that all about? I mean, what's really going on? I mean, what is going on where somebody says something? Is it like a time bomb? I don't know. It just, beyond believable. And the railroad situation, how's that all going to play out, right? Does anybody really even know what the railroad situation is really all about? My understanding is that people can't get time off to take care of their personal problems and challenges and medical appointments and everything else. I mean, that's my understanding. And so, man, this is crazy. That guy there, he dropped his speed like 10 miles an hour. It's a young girl. And so, my understanding with the railroad challenge is they don't have enough railroad workers. And they can't rotate the shifts, where it's very difficult for your railroad worker where you have to be on shift for X amount of days and you don't get the relief to get away to take care of problems in your real life. And that's what the argument is. They want to have more hired hands to help rotate the shifts. I mean, that's kind of what I'm reading. I know that the monies are kind of at the table, but I don't think that's the driving force. I think it's the It's the lifestyle. The downside is this remote work at home. So many people now have so much more freedom to work from home and don't have to live on the road like a trucker does, or rail. A lot of people, they do not have the freedoms of people that literally get to work from home and have much more of a flexible schedule and still make good money. And the people out there that are in the transportation sector, they don't have that opportunity. They have to work very hard to make a living, and for them, it's more challenging for them to have their social free time to take care of personal matters and other things. So here's the deal. These are 90-mile-an-hour people right here. Right there. That guy there, he's going to hit probably about 95 miles an hour. It's a racetrack. Yeah, right now he's at 90. But they slowed up. So what happens is, I see this all the time. I talk about all the time. Somebody's going really fast, and then they follow that person, but then once they kind of get past that person, now what's this guy doing here in the white car way up the way on the left? He's riding his brakes, and he's now, you've got very fast drivers, and now does that person speed up? Watch. Now there you go. So now they're speeding up. They're now racing. So the guy put on his brake lights to deliberately slow down that guy in the red vehicle, and so now he's gonna brake check him, or maybe the guy got caught up. Oh, that was the guy earlier went by us, very, very fast. So probably he's texting. Yeah, that person there got caught up in texting and had to slow down, but now they're back on their path to doing 95 to 100 miles an hour. So anyway, so the railroad thing is more about the social, the person's independence to their own life, besides having to work every day of their life and not getting any breaks from doing that. That's kind of what I'm getting from that. But here's the thing: Congress is going to pass the bill and force these people to continue to work, at the level of work they're working with no changes. And it's basically suck it up, buttercup. You have no option. How's that working out? What message does that send to you as a person that's on the rail, the rail working? And there that guy goes. I told you. So that guy there, he'd definitely be doing 9,500 miles an hour. He's separating from the whole pack. There goes the red car chasing him. Oh, goodness gracious. No exhaust note out of this thing. So this Bronco Raptor, very tame compared to the, the race truck. Very, very lame. But my wife, she really likes this vehicle. So, part of me says that, well, here's a call. Got to take that. Oh, the ongoing conversations. Something too. Think about this. Who here is noticing that everything's gotten smaller in quantity, but yet it's more expensive? Yeah. Sincerely. Really, everything has gotten, of less quality, smaller amount, but yet it's more money. Wow. Where's that conversation? Has anybody really... I know for a fact that Kirkland's hot dogs, so at Costco, I buy the bigger Kirkland hot dogs, which I told you I'm not really the big Costco guy anymore, but the other day I was just too busy and too forced to go to the Costco near me versus to drive to Sam's Club, which is way too long. But I noticed when I got home and how I packaged those hot dogs that I would say they're like half an inch shorter. That'd be my guess. And then you go to McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, it's the same story. All the items are packaged smaller. Yeah, where's that conversation, right? Where are they shaving? Businesses are continuing to shave things and take away the quality to, make it so they can continue to sell products. But boy, I tell you, you got to wonder if down the road, you get the option to buy the real deal thing, or you get to buy the fake thing. You know, which would you buy, right? I mean, we all know China brought all this crap, all the metal here to this country, that it wasn't all real metal. I mean, it still goes on today. It's just junk, because it's them cutting corners to say that they can sell something cheaper. But yeah, it's cheaper because it's not the same quality. Yeah, what's the message there, right? The message. But anyways, back to the Bronco, the Braptor. For my wife, she really likes this vehicle, and so for me, I already know if I go put a new exhaust on this, you know, she'll be like, oh my gosh. Even though if I think that through, it shouldn't be a problem, because this vehicle has the different exhaust notes. See here, and you can go to quiet mode, or I can go to normal, or I can go to the sport mode. So yeah, that's actually a pretty good point. Since this has the exhaust flap capability, I could put a nice exhaust system on here, and you'd still be able to have the quiet exhaust. So that's pretty cool, actually. Yeah, I had to talk about to think that through. That way the wife isn't like, oh my gosh, I can't take the vehicle. The Bronco, hot pepper red exhaust had on that. I love that exhaust, but for the wife, you know, she drove the Bronco on road trips. She's just like, it's just too noisy. It's too loud. She doesn't get into that, you know, exhaust note. Right. This thing just rocks. This vehicle, it's just so much fun. Can you tell? I have not given this vehicle its official first bath. Years ago, I used to wash cars like you can't believe. I mean, years ago, I used to be so fixated and have my cars clean. Oh my gosh. I used to spend hours and hours. And in the winter months, my hands were destroyed from washing cars. In the cold months, yeah, I was out there on the 30-degree day with my heated, I got a tank out there in the barn. It gives me hot water. Yeah, I'm the guy out there cleaning cars in the 20s and 30-degree day. Yeah, I did that many a times. But what it does to your skin, it just dries out your skin like you can't believe. There's the old pipe, just a little bit. I mean, nothing close to the Ford, right to the race truck, right? I mean, not even close. So yeah, so that's, and I used to always think, you know, I always kind of had my first, you know, bath for my vehicle. That was kind of like a special moment. Who hasn't had that, right? Your love for your vehicle, your passion. It's just such a comfortable vehicle to ride around in, work out of. I got my whole toolbox. I love that toolbox. Then I hate it. So to give you an example, it's hard to believe. A week ago Thursday, I was in Tennessee. I was on a motorcycle with my daughter. It was just beautiful sunny day. It was like 60 degrees out. And that's just a week ago. It's just beyond believable how time just goes by. It's just like, wow. Just incredible how fast time goes by us. So anyways, the little Bluetooth connection for my trailer make me have electric brakes. I put that in my sliding box. Well, when you trailer with this vehicle, the downside is the way the jack is on the front of the tongue of the trailer. It sits up so high, when you try to open the rear tailgate, the spare tire runs right into it. So you really can't open the tailgate very far. Very challenging. To the point that it's too bad there couldn't be a better design. So he needs to make a better design on that front tongue area for a jack, so that people have a vehicle that has a rear access door, you can open it without running into hitting the jack. So I put I've got the whole trailer all set up, and I put the frickin' Bluetooth electric control thing in the toolbox back there, but now I can't get to it. So where I'm now going to have to literally, you know, disconnect the trailer. I mean, I have to go get the the wheel chocks for the trailer. I'm gonna have to get the I'm gonna have to get the block to put underneath the trailer jack to be able to jack the trailer back up. I mean, it's just beyond believable of the project I'm gonna go through because I can't get into the toolbox. And I was like, oh my god, for that it's called CURT. It's called the Echo CURT Bluetooth electric brake controller that you plug right into your 7-pin assembly that enables you to eliminate not having to have the brake controller in your vehicle. And so that rear drawer, I couldn't get it, but I finally was able to really just manhandle that damn drawer and get in there and get that thing out. But I was like, why did I put that damn thing in the drawer? I should have put it in the first pocket of it. But anyways, this vehicle here is so confident. I mean, this thing is just it's so comfortable. That's what I love about these Braptor platform vehicles. That's what drove me away from the Dodge Ram product. When I bought my first F-150 Raptor back in the fall of 2017, it was like November of 2017, I bought a Raptor, 2018 model, white one, and oh my gosh, that thing was so nice that it changed my whole view of Ford and the Ford truck line. That I literally was the first step of me getting rid of all my Ram trucks. My Ram 1500, my Ram 2500, my dually mega cab Ram 3500. Because I converted over the F-150 Raptor, the F-250, and the F-450 dually. And at that time, the Ranger wasn't available. And then eventually, when the Rangers came out, that converted me from the Toyota Tacoma TRD Pros I had. So the Braptor platform is what changed my thoughts of the Ford product. Because I was never a big Ford guy. I just never was. I owned Ford trucks over the years here and there, but I was never like, the big time Ford guy. I'm driving down the road and every now and then I'm talking and think, oh my gosh, who hasn't been talking on their cell phone or talking and you drive by your exit and you're like, oh, that's great. But I didn't do that. So yeah, the Raptor platform for Ford, and now here's the next thing. There's a Ford Ranger Raptor out there, but it's over in Australia. When are they bringing that here to the market? I mean, yeah, don't tell me that, right? Because then I'll have to get the Ford Ranger Raptor truck. Yeah.